What is up, guys, and welcome back to another edition of the Market Marauder Show. Beating the market one trade at a time. If you're new to the Market Marauder Show, it's an investment channel, helps you to find the best deals in the market. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Definitely helps the YouTube algorithm promote the videos. Alright, today I'll be giving my detailed analysis of Avalanche. Now, Avalanche is a project that has been growing more and more in popularity. I'm starting to see more people talk about it, but it has been here for quite a while. These are the stats for Avalanche. It is an open source platform for launching decentralized applications, or dApps for short. At the current time of recording this, it's at $89 and around 9 cents, 10 cents, fluctuating quite a bit. But if you look at their 1 year chart, they're up 1,108 percent. 3 month they're at 57.70%, and 1 month they're up 8.10%. So they've definitely been on a steady increase, especially as we're getting into 2022. I think Avalanche is going to be one of the main projects that people are talking about, considering that they have their own ecosystem and more things are being developed using Avalanche. So you can access Avalanche using Binance, Coinbase, OKEx, Hubai, FTX, Bitfinex. So basically, majority of the major exchanges, you can get your hands on Avalanche. So that's one reason why I like it. It's very versatile, that you can purchase it from a lot of the major exchanges that people use. Now, jumping into Avalanche's main website, this is AVAX.network. So blazing fast, low cost, and eco-friendly. What is Avalanche? What's possible with Avalanche? Avalanche is an open programmable smart contract platform for dApps. So build fast, low cost, Solidity compatible dApps. Launch Ethereum dApps that confirm transactions instantly and process thousands of transactions per second, far beyond any decentralized blockchain platform today. So you can launch customized blockchains and private and public. Deploy blockchain that fits your own application needs. Build your own virtual machine and dictate exactly how the blockchain should operate. Scale to millions of validators with minimal hardware. Stake or lock up your AVAX to help process transactions and further secure the platform, providing security guarantees well above the 51% standard. You probably have the hardware required to join the platform. So on here, main focus around building dApps, or building decentralized applications. One thing on here to compare about the other blockchains, so you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Polkadot, with Avalanche having the fastest specs with their proof of stake. So for safety threshold, they have an 80% parameterized. On here, number of validators are thousands of nodes compared to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Polkadot. On here, energy efficient, yes, CPU optimal, which is one thing to definitely look forward to, because the majority of computers, or every computer, has a CPU, but not every computer has a GPU. When going into Bitcoin and Ethereum, Ethereum being GPU optimal, which means a graphic processing unit, which are the cards that are very difficult to get a hold of if you really want a nice one, especially price point. They're not really a great barrier for entry if you're trying to get something for cheap. The ASIC miners are almost impossible to get, not totally impossible, but very hard to get a hold of. A lot of those ASIC miners, for Bitcoin. So, CPU to me, I think, is the way of the future. It's more energy efficient, and more people have access to CPUs than ASIC gear and GPUs. And so that's something to look for going into 2022. I think, all these projects that are built around CPU optimization definitely can flourish into 2022. Having a lot of these other ones like GPUs and ASICs definitely, I'm not saying is bad, but trying to get into that field is definitely cost heavy. And so on here we have transaction finality. You have 60 minutes for Bitcoin, Ethereum 6 minutes, Polkadot 60 seconds, and then Avalanche less than 2 seconds. And then transactional throughput. On here we have Avalanche with less than 4,500 TPS. And so spec wise, Avalanche definitely is faster than majority of the competition. On here it talks about build Ethereum dApps without limits. Avalanche is Solidity compliant or compatible. All your favorite tools like Remix, Truffle, and tenderly work out of the box. So if you want to go and build some dApps, they basically have the features that you can do so, which I think is great for them moving forward. So on here, um, going into this section, one thing I want to highlight on is some of the applications that they're being using for Avalanche. And so for Avalanche on here, you have asset insurance, debt financing, digital identity, document tracking, fund management, insurance, intellectual property, lending, real estate, supply chain, and trade finance. And so on here, these are two of their main I guess countries or companies that they're using. So they're the Congress of Kintaru, and then you have Rival. And so they have a government partnership already established for Avalanche, and I think having all these features, like especially when it comes to supply chain and fund management, those are two big things that I think in 2022 people are going to be looking for, and also into digital identity and debt financing. And so I think these are going to be some buzzwords in 2022, and Avalanche already has the capability to do so, built on their platform. I think more companies are going to be looking for those solutions. If Avalanche already has them, then they might be the go-to. Next, you have non-fungible tokens or NFTs, Tops being one of the main, most popular ones that is built on Avalanche. You have mint your own NFT in seconds for fees less than a cent. Digitally provide ownership and streamline value flow. Create and share art, collectibles, and more with all the benefits and none of the downside. And so, art, collect certifications and licenses, collectibles, credentials, in-game items, and music. And so these are all going to be big things moving forward. I think the music industry is going to be continuing to shift towards NFTs for music. You have a lot of collectibles that are coming out in the form of Tops. Tops really did good in 2021. I think you're going to continue to do good in 2022. I think they were bought by Fanatics. I think Tops was bought by Fanatics just a month ago, and so definitely going to be new features coming in for Tops. But I think that's going to be a new form of people storing value, getting into collectible items going into 2022. And so, since Avalanche already has a very reputable name with that, with the Tops brand that they did so popular with, I think other companies are going to be looking to try to partner with Avalanche to do more rollouts. And so going into some more backend information, one of the things I want to talk about on here, and this is basically an overview of how their primary network works. So on here, you have the primary network, validate Avalanche's built-in blockchains, and then members must stake AVAX tokens. So you have three different sections. You have the X exchange, you have platform P chain, and then you have contract C chain. So for the X chain, you have Avalanche Consensus Protocol creates assets and exchanges assets. So on here you just see asset one, asset two, and then AVX being the network solution. Next, you have Platform P Chain, which uses the Snowman Consensus Protocol, coordinates validators, and creates subnets. And then so on here you see the custom chains. So it says custom chain one and custom chain two. Lastly, on here you have contract C chain, which uses the Snowman consensus protocol as well. Executes EVM contracts and smart contracts. So this is what's going to be how your dApps are created using ERC20, which is for tokens. So ERC20 is in reference to creating tokens using Avalanche, and then you have NFTs, which again represent the non-fungible token aspect of it. So the C chain aspect I think is going to be very important for like the Tops aspect, or people who are trying to create dApps or more tokens that are coming out in the ecosystem. I think the X chain is going to be for the government applications as well as the identity portion, real estate. These are all things that I think in 2022 are going to continue to be developed. Having NFTs or you know different coins, I think that's one aspect of it, but really using the platform's capabilities to really enhance our daily lives with like identity tracking as well as some digital real estate aspects. I think those are things going to be looking for in the future. And then on here, platform P chain, this just talks about creating subnets, which I think will be very important with speed is concerned. And so lastly on here, I just want to talk about the Avalanche Consensus Network, and then also the Snowman Consensus Network, which represent on here these two different sections. So like I said again, P chain and C chain use Snowman consensus protocol, and then Avalanche uses Exchange X chain uses the Avalanche consensus protocol. So as far as the X chain is concerned, this is going to be how their protocol works. So on here you have transaction TX issued, you have validator receives many transactions, confirm TX valid, and then on here, if it's valid, yes, it'll go through these steps. If not, then it'll ignore it. So this is basically the logic map of how the Avalanche consensus network works. Once it's approved, then the TX is added to the valid TXs, which basically means it's received and added to the list. Begin repeated random subsampling. You have select K random validators weighted by stake. And then you have query K validators on preferred TXs, updated TX confidences. And then on here, it runs through another logic loop or feedback loop, if you want to call it that, where confidence threshold is met. If yes, then accepted. And then on here it says reject any transactions that conflict with the accepted transaction. So all of this happens in less than a 2-second time span from the beginning portion showing on speed with the throughput. So this is a very fast transaction that happens. I think it's very impressive that they have been able to make such a logic loop that runs so fast, and that helps you to get your contract through in such an expedient process. I think that's something that's going to be looked forward to in the future as well. I know when running some transactions using Ethereum, especially if you're trying to trade NFTs, or if you're trying to do any transaction really on Ethereum, it takes a little bit of a while unless you're trying to pay an exuberant gas fee in order to get that transaction throughput very fast. So I think with speed being one of the main things Avalanche is kind of harping on. I think that's going to be a key feature for people switching over or starting to use Avalanche. Next on here, we have the Snowman consensus protocol. Snowman is a chain optimized consensus protocol, high throughput, um, totally ordered. And great for smart contracts. Snowman is powered by the Avalanche consensus protocol. Both P chain and C chain implement the Snowman consensus protocol. So on here, some of the key features, you just have speed, scalability, security, flexibility, sustainability, smart contract support, private and public blockchains, and designed for finance. And so all of these have their own individual features that they have. Speed, like I said again, under 1 second. That's definitely something to look at for. You have scalability, so capable of 4,500 transactions per second. That's definitely something to look at for as well. Security ensures stronger security. Guarantees well above the 51% standard of other networks. You have flexibility, easy to create custom blockchains and dApps that contain almost any arbitrary logic. Sustainability, use energy efficient proof of stake consensus algorithm rather than proof of work. And that was proved by the first graphic that I showed at the beginning of the video, especially showing how it's CPU optimized, which is definitely going to be something to look forward to, a very high advantage to Avalanche. Next, you have smart contract support. Supports the creation of Solidity smart contracts and your favorite Ethereum tools like Remix, MetaMask, Truffle, and more. Private and public blockchains. Create your own public or private blockchains, and then designed for finance. Native support for easily creating and trading digital smart assets with complex custom rule set. And then on here, going back to the main one, just showing the price point of it. For me, a price point that I have for Avalanche going into 2022, bear in mind it's not financial advice. I'm not telling you to invest or not to invest in the Avalanche, but a price point that I have for Avalanche going into 2022 is going to be around the $200 price point. And so I think you can get there because you're starting to see projects like Solana take off. Really, people getting into NFTs. I think NFTs are here to stay. Most people, I feel like, when they hear about NFTs, they go towards the Ethereum side of it. But Ethereum is so jam packed with people making projects and stuff on it. Gas fees are ridiculous at this point in time. I don't see them going down anytime soon. I think Avalanche and platforms like Avalanche will continue to thrive and gain more popularity, especially with the speed aspect and then being CPU optimized. I think Avalanche did a really great job with Tops. Tops was a very successful project, which really showed the versatility of Avalanche. And I think if more companies start to partner with Avalanche, you're going to continue to see them rise. So I think $200 is definitely a great price target for Avalanche in the future. So drop a comment down below. Tell me what project you're looking at going into 2022. Do you think Avalanche has the potential to get to that $200 price target? If there's another price target that you think Avalanche will get to, make sure you drop it down below in the comment section. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up. Definitely helps YouTube algorithm the videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.